All right, let's talk about something every single HVAC owner knows all too well, managing cash flow. It's that feeling when your business is absolutely slammed, but for some reason the bank account just doesn't seem to reflect all that hard work. So we're going to break down why that happens and really dig into when getting outside funding is a smart move and when it's just a dangerous trap. I mean, does this hit close to home? Your phone's been ringing off the hook, the schedule's packed solid, your texts are running from sunup to sundown, but then you glance at your cash on hand and there's this major disconnect. It is so frustrating, right? But believe me, if you're feeling this, you are definitely not alone.
And look, this isn't just a feeling you have. It's a very real, very common business problem. On the surface, you might think, I just need more money. But if we peel back the layers a little bit, what we almost always find is that it's not really a money problem. It's a problem with timing and with operations.
And yeah, that's the big paradox at the heart of it all, isn't it? You can be booked solid for weeks, but still be scrambling for cash. See, the money from a job doesn't just magically appear in your account the second a customer calls. There's this whole cycle of doing the work, processing payments, and paying your own expenses that can get seriously out of whack.
So where's all this pressure coming from? Well, there are kind of four main culprits. First, you've got callbacks and rework, and we're going to dive deep into that in a second. Then there's payroll. Man, that's a big one. It's a fixed expense you've got to meet no matter when your customers actually pay you. Third is the cost of growth. Buying new trucks, new tools. That all takes cash up front, way before those things start making you money. And finally, you have customers who just pay slowly. And that can stretch your cash flow to the breaking point.
Okay, let's zoom in on what I think is often the biggest and sneakiest cash killer of them all, the callback. Now, most owners are great at tracking revenue coming in, but what's really interesting is that very few of us track the true total cost of having to go back and fix a job. And believe me, those costs are huge.
Think about it. First off, you're paying for unpaid labor. Every single hour your technician spends driving back to a job and redoing work is an hour they could have been on a brand new revenue-generating call. That's a direct shot to your productivity and your bottom line. It's just gone.
And it's not just their time, right? You've got the truck roll itself. That's more gas, more wear and tear on the van, more time sitting in traffic, all for a call that ideally shouldn't have even happened in the first place.
And oh, the chaos it creates for your dispatcher. A callback almost always jumps to the front of the line. It has to. And that means new paying customers get bumped or their appointments get rescheduled. Your whole plan for the day gets thrown into a blender, making it impossible to be efficient.
And what about your time? As the owner, how often do you get pulled away to play firefighter? You're busy calming down an upset customer or sorting out a team issue. Every minute you spend on that is a minute you're not spending on sales, on strategy, on the things that actually grow your company.
So here's the really crucial takeaway. None of this shows up on one big invoice that says callback costs. Nope. It's more like a slow, silent leak. It quietly siphons cash and profit right out of your business by jacking up your expenses while slowing down your new income at the very same time.
So when you're feeling that squeeze, that's usually when the idea of getting some business funding pops into your head. And look, that can be a useful tool, but you have to think about it in the right way. When it's used strategically, funding isn't a permanent solution. It's a temporary bridge to get you over a specific short-term hurdle.
So, when does it actually make sense? Well, maybe to cover a payroll gap while you're waiting on a few big checks to clear. Totally reasonable. Or to help you manage the cash dip you know is coming during the slow season. It can be a great move for buying that new van you need to keep your guys on the road. Or when you're just growing so fast your cash can't keep up. It can even help you bounce back after a really rough week that was full of rework.
But, and this is a huge but, if you're not careful, funding can be like pouring gasoline on a fire. It can become a trap that actually makes your cash flow problems way, way worse.
And this right here really nails the difference. Funding is a helper when it's a short-term bridge for a timing problem and you have a crystal clear plan for how you're going to pay it back. It hurts you when you're just using it as a band-aid to cover up deeper, ongoing problems in your operations. If you're using it to constantly cover callback costs, you're not solving anything.
Because here's the bottom line. Adding a loan payment on top of a broken process just cranks up the financial pressure. You haven't fixed the leak in the bucket, you've just added another bill you have to pay, which makes that cash strain even tighter.
Okay, so if funding is just a temporary bridge, where are we trying to get to? What's on the other side? Well, it's all about building real, long-term, sustainable stability in your business.
And here's the secret. The real fix isn't financial, it's operational.
Lasting financial health comes from one thing: making your day-to-day work more predictable. That means fewer surprises, fewer mistakes, and a whole lot more jobs done right the very first time.
So how do you get there? It's really a three-step path. Number 1, reduce those surprises out in the field by having better processes. Number 2, standardize how your technicians make decisions so every single customer gets the same top-notch result. And number 3, focus on a system that ensures every job is profitable on the very first visit.
And here's the good news. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. There's help out there. Support's available from companies that specialize in exactly this stuff, the operational side. A company like TrustBuilt, for instance, focuses on giving you the training and the standards you need to slash those costly callbacks.
Now, just a quick and important heads up. These guys are not bankers, and they don't give out financial advice. For any kind of funding decision, you should always talk to a qualified financial pro who really understands your specific situation.
So let's leave it with this one big question, the one that really gets to the core of everything we've talked about. The next time you feel that cash flow squeeze, stop and ask yourself this: is my business really facing a funding problem, or is it actually an operations problem in disguise? Answering that question honestly is the first real step toward building a company that's truly stable and profitable for the long haul.